So everyone help me. Let me be your champion.
Okay, we're recording already, so all our choirs to hold on. Please, can you okay? Everybody has mute now. All right. So can we all see the screen clearly?
Yes,
Okay, good, good. So
sir.
we actually on installing adapter cards. Like I told you the last time, when it comes to IT essentials or when it comes to assembling of computer, just need to know the steps. Once you know the steps, everything you need to do, um, we do it gradually. So I believe we've gone through this before. We've gone through this before, right? But let me just replay it again.
Hello everyone. In this video we get to install adapter cards. So first what we want to do is take a look at our case. And we need to take a look at what adapter slots we have. Inside of my case, we can take a look at the motherboard and a closer up. We have a PCI Express 16. Then we have 3 PCI Express 1s. So what we want to do is be able to pick out adapter cards that are going to be compatible with these PCI Express slots. Also, if you're wondering what this is a mini PCI Express. Think of wireless cards that you'd be able to install in a desktop tower. So let's get started. Step 1. We're going to need to find an empty slot, which we have right here. So what we need to do is take off the corresponding cover that covers that slot. To remove this cover, which is covering the slot, I have to lift up my tower and we'll take a look at what I need to do on the outside. This screw here is holding on to those adapter card slot covers. It keeps them in place. So I can go ahead and I can unscrew that with my special torque screwdriver. With that screw out, we can actually take this cover. It just lifts off, and that exposes all the adapter card slot covers. At this time, I can actually take out this cover, and it just lifts off. I can remove it from the computer case. Now the adapter slot cover is exposed, and we're able to zoom back in and continue on. With that slot cover exposed, we can now install a PCI Express 16 card. I happen to have a PCI Express graphics card. It's a PCI Express 16, which we have here, which is the physical compatibility that matches that slot. Step 2, I'm going to align the video card into the appropriate slot in the motherboard, which will be right there. For step 3, we need to press down gently on this card to install it into place. Step 4, we need to reinstall that slot cover. I will put my slot cover back on, and we will take our screw on our screwdriver and we'll screw it back into place. Thank you for watching. Our adapter card is now installed.
Okay, so that is how to install the adapter cards. And so let's look at the factors of the adapter card. From the last class, we mentioned a few of them. I just want to go through it before we move to the next. We have the graphic cards. Okay, what are the factors you need to take note of? 1, factors to consider when purchasing a new graphic card. You have the slot type. You need to know about the amount and speed of the video RAM. Then you need to know about the graphics processor unit. Graphic processor unit is the speed of the graphics processing, you just like CPU, all right? But is the graphic is like a RAM on that's the card you're seeing there. Then you must know the maximum resolution as well. Then you have what we call the sound card. So what are the factors to consider when you're purchasing a new sound card? First, you need to look at the slot, type of slot. You need to look at the digital signal processing. Then you need to look at the port and the connection types. Then the signal to noise. Okay, those using all these things are important when you're buying a sound card. Sound cards are very expensive, like I told you. All these guys that does studio work, they buy sound cards. They buy different types of sound cards. Okay, so we have the storage card as well. The storage controller card. So the factors you need to note is slot type. You need to know the connector quantity. You need to know the internal or external connectors card size and controller card RAM. Then for the input and output, which is I/O cards, you need to know the slot ratio. You need to know the input and output port type. You need to know the input and output port quantity. And you need to know the additional power requirements. Okay, that is the sign of, most of the USB you see, most of them have, external card. That's the input and output that allows your keyboard, your mouse, all those things function. Then we have the NIC, which is the network. Factors to consider when purchasing a new network card. You need to look at the slot type. You need to look at the speed. You need to look at the connector type. You need to look at the wired or wireless connection. You need to look at the standards capability as well. Then for the capture card, which we mentioned the other day, allows you see storage, resolution, and frame rate. And input and output is important. Then format standards is important. Then the input interface types, like we have here, you must know the kind of type. Now, this is actually considered what we call a TV tuner, which is part of what we mentioned the last time. Okay, so let me proceed to the next. Okay, so we have some. How do you install it? Now is what we want to talk about. Expansion cards are installed into an empty but appropriate slot on a computer motherboard. As we saw it in the example, there's a wireless NIC that enables us to, hold on, I need to mute. Okay, that enables us to connect computer to each other using a wireless network. Then we have the wireless NICs that can be integrated into the motherboard, then connecting using a USB connector or installed using a PCI or PCIe expansion slot on the motherboard. So many video adapter cards require separate power from the power supply using a 6-pin or 8-pin power connector. So there are some cards, okay, which may need 2 of those connectors. So if possible, provide some space between the video adapter and other. So when you're buying, you must know that when you're buying a card, most times I always advise people just buy a small card. You don't need to buy a card that is big because of your casing. If it's too big, it will not allow other components to come in. So that's what they're trying to explain to us here. So a video adapter creates excessive heat, which is often removed away from the card, the fan. Okay, so sometimes a video card comes with its own fan, like the one we saw in the initial diagram. So what are the installation tips that you need? Before you buy or before you do anything, research the length of the video card and other adapter cards before purchasing, okay? Because longer cards may not be compatible with certain motherboards. London cards may not be, may not be. So what you need to do is this. When you're buying a card, like I told you, the first thing you buy is your motherboard. So from buying your motherboard, you already have the idea of, okay, what kind of card will sit on this board. Okay, all these things I'm going to show you during the practicals. Then some cases might also limit the size of the adapter cards that can be installed. So some adapter cards may come with mounting brackets of different heights to accommodate these cases. So it's very important you know these installation tips. Then some cases have small slots at the bottom of the hole where the cover was removed. So slide the button, which what you're looking at the diagram, you can see it here. You bring out what you have here, because when you buy the casing, everything comes covered. It is when you are now using it, okay, that will, when you want to install it, that you have to remove all those brackets that you have there, okay? So a quick one. If everyone can see that, group A, what are the steps? Can you all hear me clearly?
Yeah.
So we want to check our understanding on, we've taken this class before. I just want to refresh it before I move to the last topic.
That's step 2.
2, right?
Two.
Yeah, step 2.
All right, correct. Group B. Group B, secure the adapter card mounting bracket to the case with the appropriate screw. Group B.
Oh no, it's not time.
Is there no group B? Okay, let me check the SMS because sometimes.
Mariah, I think Mariah is in group B.
Okay, they've answered the question.
She says
They say 4.
step 4. Yeah.
Yes. I think some of them are in a noisy place, so I don't want to. All right, correct. Then find an empty, that's group C. Find an empty expansion slot and remove the small metal cover.
Step 1.
Okay.
Step 1, very first step.
Okay. Correct. So then we have the last.
Press down.
All right. So good. So correct. So let's move to the. So we already opened this lab before, so I'm not going to download it again. Adapter card. Okay. Let me check. I know we've downloaded it before. Yeah, we've downloaded it. So this is part of the labs we're going to do. Okay. This part of the lab we're going to do on that day. So, okay. All right, so let's move to the next. done this one too. All right, so we have what we call media reader. We have what we call media reader, okay? This media reader, we have the SD, we have the micro SD, we have the mini SD, and we have the compact flash, okay? Now, the compact flash, let me just explain everything one after the other. The secure digital, which is the SD, called secure digital, is the SD card were designed for use in portable devices such as cameras, MP3, and laptops. So SD cards can hold as much as 2 terabytes of data. Then we have another one called the micro SD. This is a much smaller version of SD, commonly used in smartphones and tablets. Mini SD, like a version of SD between the size of an SD. This is it. Okay, you use it on cameras and some mobile phones. Then we have the one we call compact flash. Okay, compact flash is also used like the holder, this thing, but still in wide use because it has 128 gigabytes. It has a lot of space.